Revealed, the incredible secret sale of my country house that transformed my son's life forever. Jake's weather-beaten hands held the tattered auction flyer like it was a ticking time bomb. This could change everything, he whispered, his heart racing as adrenaline surged through his chest. The kind of change that wasn't just about property but about hope he desperately needed for his son, Sam. The old country house, filled with the echoes of laughter and shared meals, now lay on the brink of being lost forever, a casualty of life's relentless tide. For a while, they'd shared those memories, Jake and Sam. The creaky floors, the rusted swings in the yard swaying under the weight of nostalgia. But their bond had grown strained, pressed under the weight of financial burdens that seemed insurmountable. Today, a house auction loomed like a storm cloud over their heads. Yet, beneath it all, there was a flicker of something, a chance to reclaim not just bricks and mortar, but their sense of who they were. As word spread throughout town, Jake felt the rush of support from neighbors who remembered the good times. But lurking in the heart of that support were whispers, doubts about whether Jake could stand up to his father's legacy. Could he truly honor the family name, or would that house become just another reminder of failure? One afternoon, as Jake rummaged through dusty boxes left untouched for years, Sam found an old photo album. He opened it, and the floodgates opened. There was his dad, young and filled with dreams, and beside him, a woman who looked like sunshine. Sam could feel the warmth radiating from the pages, igniting memories both distant and vivid. They were tangible reminders that life had once been glorious and utterly imperfect, just like their present. "Look at this, Dad," Sam said, choking on his emotions. "Do you remember these days?" Jake's eyes misted as he felt the ache of the past and the weight of the present. "I remember, it felt so simple then." They shared a moment, raw, unmasking the struggles that were never spoken. Sam saw a flicker of hope in Jake's tired eyes. There, amid clutter and forgotten dreams, they found common ground. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let us continue. As the day of the auction approached, the tension simmered. Sam felt the heat of judgment from peers at school, who snickered and whispered, pulling him farther into solitude. It was in that moment of aching loneliness, amid the tumult of youthful despair, Sam realized something vital: his worth was not tied to his family's house or his father's struggles. What mattered was the unwavering love they shared and the community standing behind them. The atmosphere crackled at the auction. The good folks of town gathered to support a man they had known all their lives. Each bid felt like a step toward rekindling their bond. But just as Jake was about to find solace in the community's support, an unexpected bid pierced the air, sending shockwaves through the crowd. The atmosphere thickened with uncertainty, emotions swirling like a tempest. One question gripped Sam's heart as he watched his father stand still, caught between two worlds. Would the sale sever the last thread of connection they shared, or could it bind them together, stronger than ever? Even as doubt loomed, a pulse of resilience ignited inside him. This was not just a house, but a symbol of their lives woven together. The answer hung, tantalizingly tense, in the air. Jake stood at the edge of the auction crowd, his eyes flickering between the auctioneer and the whispers that danced through the gathering. Each raised paddle felt like another chisel aimed at the stone they called family, carving away at their bond. Sweat trickled down his back, and he could hear the dull thrum of his heartbeat pulsing in his ears. This was not just an auction, it was a defining moment. Sam, standing beside him, felt the weight of that moment pressing down on his young shoulders. The unexpected bid had come from a wealthy newcomer to town, a man with deep pockets and sharp eyes. As each bid climbed, Sam's heart sank. It felt like watching a slow-motion crash. They had come to this auction with hope, yet bitterness began to bleed into the day like spilled ink on good paper. A whisper flittered through the crowd, drawing Sam's attention. "Do they even deserve to keep it?" a voice asked, dripping with disdain. Sam clenched his fists, feeling every pang of insecurity rise like bile. What do they know about hard work? And with that, a flicker of anger ignited within him. This was their home, their memories. How could anyone belittle their struggle? "Dad," Sam called softly, his voice a mere thread attempting to weave through the chaos. Jake turned slightly, eyes narrowing at the sudden tension in his son's tone. "We need to remember why we're here. It's for us, for the times we had." Jake nodded, a thin line forming on his lips. "It's not just about the house, Sam. It's about the life we built there." The moment struck a chord, and Jake felt some of the weight lift, reminding him that the heart of a home wasn't solely brick and mortar. It was laughter, tears, and the quiet moments of connection. The auctioneer's voice commanded attention again, stretching impossibly long. The bid had skyrocketed, each number sent Jake's heart crashing. But amid that chaos, a new thought flickered, the possibility of fighting back for what mattered. As if a long-lost whisper of determination had suddenly risen from the spirits of his ancestors, he raised his own hand. 200,000. He shouted, rattling off the new bid with all the courage he could muster. The crowd gasped, and Sam felt a pulse of exhilaration course through him. That was the fire of hope, a father standing firm despite the odds. But then came that familiar dark cloud of doubt. What if they lost? What if this was just a flash of stubbornness that led them deeper into the abyss? Suddenly, the scene blurred as Jake's insecurities crept back in a familiar ache that had settled in their lives. The newcomer, with a confident smile, raised his own bid even higher. The crowd buzzed, whispers spiraled around them. Sam sensed Jake's shoulders slump slightly, a silent admission of defeat washing over his old man. Digging deep, Sam grasped Jake's arm, grounding him. "Don't give up, Dad, please," Sam breathed, feeling an entirely new kind of fear grip him. In that moment, Sam saw the uncertainty hardening Jake's features. But more surprisingly, beneath that vulnerability, he felt the fervent flicker of resolve reignite. "All right, buddy," Jake whispered, glancing at Sam with fire in his eyes. "We've come this far together." Just as Jake prepared to raise the paddle once more, the auctioneer's voice rang out with an unexpected twist, going once the words hung in the air like a lifeline. Would it all slip away in a heartbeat? As the tension mounted and hope flickered between possibility and despair, Sam knew he had to make a stand. "Wait!" he shouted, his voice slicing through the atmosphere. All eyes turned to him, the weight of their expectations crushing around him. And in that pivotal moment, Sam realized he wanted to be more than just Jake's son. He wanted to be a partner in this fight. Would his courage be enough to sway the tide? In that split second, as silence enveloped the room, everything hung in the balance, poised to either collapse or unite them in unprecedented strength. The question returned, pulsing in his mind: could love truly transcend these difficult moments? When everything seemed lost? "Wait!" Sam shouted again, his voice sharp and clear. Everyone turned to him, an electric hush blanketing the crowd. Jake felt his heart hammering, confusion wrestling with pride. His son was speaking up, a beacon of unexpected strength at the most critical moment. The eyes watching them were filled with curiosity, some tinged with skepticism. "Dad, we can't let them take our home without a fight, right?" Sam continued, his voice unwavering, lifting Jake's spirits with every word. Sam recalled the countless weekends spent in the backyard, the laughter echoing through the halls as they made memories that couldn't be measured in money. "It wasn't just about the walls and the roof, it was about us." Jake remained silent for a moment, adjusting to his son's bold appearance in this adult world filled with uncertainty. Something deep inside him shifted, igniting a new blaze fueled by their shared memories. He realized Sam was right. This wasn't just an auction, it was a testament to their fight, their resilience. The auctioneer eyed the duo, the moment stretching unbearably long. "Do you have something to say, young man?" His tone held faint condescension, yet more curiosity as he gestured for Sam to continue. Taking a breath, Sam stepped forward slightly and faced the crowd. "This home is much more than a piece of property. It's where our family found joy after tough times. Where we built not just memories, but a life. Don't let this stranger strip us of that because of his money. A murmur rippled through the audience. Sam could feel hope seeping back into Jake, and with it, a desperate need to stand together. We've fought hard to keep our family together. I believe the struggle is worth something. His voice found a weight, resonating in the room. Jake squeezed Sam's shoulder, his heart swelling with pride. His son was standing up for more than just bricks and mortar. He was advocating for everything they held dear: their past, their struggles, and their future. This bond they formed in the face of adversity was something no one could take away. The newcomer shifted unfazed, still confident as if the very currency of his existence was power. But now, the crowd was shifting. Whispers grew louder, and Jake sensed the scales tilting. The auctioneer cleared his throat, restoring silence. All right. We'll continue. The bids resumed, but Sam felt different. Energized. Watching Jake's hand rise again, the paddle lifting like an act of defiance against the world, he thought this battle was not just about money. They were fighting for their legacy, their memories. 220,000. Jake shouted, bolstered by the rush of Sam's spirit. Around them, the crowd shifted, visibly engaged with what was unfolding. It felt less like a mere auction now and more like a battlefield of shared emotions. Determination flickered in the other bidder's eyes, uncertainty shadowed by the genuine connection driving Jake and Sam's resolve. In that fleeting moment of connection, Jake realized they were no longer alone in their fight. A shift. A bridge built from shared experiences began resonating throughout the crowd, ricocheting back into their faded memories. But just before elation could seep fully into their hearts, the newcomer raised his paddle once more, and the crowd held its breath. 250,000. He declared smugly, a smirk dancing at the corner of his lips. Jake's heart sank momentarily. But as he looked at Sam, that familiar flame sparked again. They wouldn't give up. Not now. Hold on, Dad, Sam urged, not ready to relinquish their momentum. As Jake steadied his arm, ready to make another bid, he felt an overwhelming sense of urgency. They hadn't just become a better team, they were building a future together. They were writing another chapter of their story. With the stakes rising and the crowd's murmurs spiraling, Sam knew this wasn't merely about the house anymore. It was about fighting for their family legacy. Can we bring it home, Dad? Sam's voice rang in Jake's ears, a reminder of everything they were risking. Jake stared hard at the paddle, the burden of their future resting in his hand. The next bid would come with weight. It was now or never. What would they sacrifice to keep their memories alive, to hold on to the very essence of what made them them? As the tension built and an unshakable resolve settled in, Jake raised his paddle high once more. The room pulsed with possibility, and for the first time, it felt within their reach. But could their passions step up against the sheer wealth that threatened to tear them apart? 275,000. Jake shouted, his voice cutting through the air, filled with a raw desperation that made the crowd stir. The bidder looked momentarily shaken, but quickly masked it with a chuckle, as if Jake's bid was merely child's play. In that moment, Sam's heart raced. He pulled the courage from deep within, but could they match the newcomer's endless pockets? He could see the haughty smirk on the wealthy man's face, the arrogance that comes with privilege. But they had something he couldn't buy. They had hope. 280,000. The stranger shot back, grinning as if the game were already won. It felt like a punch to Sam's gut, a blow that left him breathless. But as he exchanged glances with Jake, he saw a flicker of defiance ignite. Together, we can do this, Sam whispered with fierce determination. Jake nodded, and in that unspoken bond, they became an unyielding force. Each bid was more than numbers, it was a declaration of their strength, their rights, their past woven into every word. They wouldn't back down. They couldn't. The room buzzed uneasily as the auctioneer raised an eyebrow, sensing the tension thick in the air. Anything more? He challenged, scanning the filled room for further bids. 300,000. Jake declared, the figure erupting from him like fire from a cannon, a raw demonstration of his willpower. The crowd gasped collectively, almost stunned. Sam was amazed at his dad's courage, yet nervousness clawed at his insides. Would it be enough? Loud whispers echoed as people began to root for them. There was a palpable shift in the atmosphere, a camaraderie emerging between them and the audience. It felt like an army united, each individual willing to stand alongside Jake and Sam to reclaim not just a house, but a sanctuary of memories. 325,000. The newcomer's voice dripped with disdain, but it lacked the confidence it had before. Sam felt it. He could sense a crack in the armor of the wealthy man. Keep going, Dad. They don't know what we know, Sam said, squeezing Jake's hand again, as if they had some secret strength within them that money couldn't defeat. 400,000. Jake called out, the words bolting from him like a battle cry. A fresh wave of murmurs washed over the crowd, uncertainty mingling with excitement. Yet, as the newcomer readied to respond, Sam's eyes caught something, a flicker of vulnerability as the man almost hesitated. For a moment, it looked like wealth wouldn't guarantee victory. Hope spread quickly through Sam, but he had to keep it burning bright. 450,000. Came the reply, the man's brow furrowing deeper as if he was measuring the stakes again, realizing he was battling against more than property. Jake felt the wind leave him, but instead of defeat, a fire sparked in his chest that invigorated his voice. I can't just let him win. Not like this. Dad. Sam urged, adrenaline coursing through him as he found the words he hadn't yet voiced. It's not just a number. It's our home. This is about our family. Let us make it count. The weight of those words bore down on Jake's soul. Could they really do this? Could they dig deep enough, reach just a bit further? He lifted the paddle one more time, uncertainty battling with the emotional torrent inside. The tension held them taut, each heartbeat charged with the anticipation of what was to come. The crowd was theirs for the taking, united in the spirit of their fight. 500,000. The newcomer shouted, his voice now filled with something like anger. Sam felt his heart drop. The numbers felt overwhelming. But in Jake's fierce determination, he found the fuel he needed. Let us not stop now. Sam's voice sliced through the tension, a lifeline igniting courage within Jake once more. As he raised the paddle high, a wild mix of excitement and fear buzzed between them. It was the fiercest fight they'd ever faced, but beneath it all, the ultimate question burned bright within Sam: would they have the strength to overcome this challenge and hold on to what was undeniably theirs, or would destiny have other plans? The air thickened as the final bids approached, each tick of the auctioneer's gavel echoing, a countdown to their resolution. How far were they willing to go to reclaim their home? Was it enough to face down not just the money, but everything it represented? 550,000. The words came crashing down from the wealthy man, each syllable laced with a chilling confidence that made Sam's stomach twist. The crowd murmured, a wave of doubt rippling through them. Could they keep pushing against this seemingly unstoppable tide? Jake's heart sank. He looked at Sam, and in that moment, they shared an unspoken understanding. This wasn't merely about numbers anymore, it was about family, memories, everything they had built together. The pressure mounted, and in the growing tension, clarity pierced through the house was not just a structure. It was their heart. Let us go, Dad. Sam urged, his voice rising above the chatter like a beacon. We can't let him take it from us. We've got this. Jake's grip on the paddle tightened. He could feel the warmth of Sam's hand in his, grounding him amid the chaos. The energy in the air shifted again, driven by the shared hope of the crowd that had coalesced around them. With each bid, they were solidifying their collective spirit. It was their chance to reclaim not just a home, but their history. 600,000. Jake shouted, summoning every ounce of strength in his voice. His words rang out, a declaration of defiance that echoed through the hall. For a moment, silence fell like a blanket, the shock reverberated through the onlookers, disbelief playing across their faces. Even the auctioneer paused, caught off guard by the audacity of the bid. The wealthy man's confidence faltered. For the first time, Jake saw a real uncertainty in his eyes. Sam wanted to shout, to jump up and down. They were getting through to him. The stranger quickly masked his surprise. 650,000. He replied, but this time his tone was sharper, tinged with frustration. Sam could feel his heart hammering against his ribs. You've got him on the ropes, Dad. Don't give up now. Jake let the words wash over him, filling him with the bravery he'd needed. He thought of all the moments they had shared in that house, the laughter, the tears, the quiet evenings around the fireplace. Every memory surged within him, urging him to keep pushing forward. 700,000. He called out, the number bursting forth like a battle cry, carrying with it all their hopes, dreams, and the power of their shared bond. The crowd erupted in whispers, their engagement shifting once more. Sam could feel the heat of their support, their belief rekindling the spark of possibility in him. This fight was more than just theirs, it was for anyone who had ever faced an unjust challenge, for every family who needed a place to belong. The wealthy man recoiled, visibly shaken now. The atmosphere thickened, heavy with anticipation. Rather than backing down, he fired back, 750,000. It felt like the stakes kept soaring higher. With each figure, the tension spiked, yet Sam sensed something shifting. The wealthy man's confidence was unraveling, the facade of invincibility had begun to crack. How far are we willing to go? Sam thought. What sacrifices will it take? Jake turned to Sam, his eyes a mix of steely determination and fatherly love. Are we ready to push this further? To seize what's rightfully ours? In that moment, Sam's resolve solidified. With everything they had left, they could push on. Even if they lost, what mattered was that they had fought back. 800,000. Jake yelled, heart pounding. The crowd reacted, a thunderous cheer erupted, a human tide of hope. As the auctioneer's gavel hovered above his podium, suspense woven tightly with anticipation, Sam clung to Jake's hand, the stakes higher than ever. Would they really cross the line tonight? Would they emerge victorious, or would the dreams they held closely slip away? The answer rested on the precipice of the void, and yet, in that moment, a question emerged within Sam's chest. What would they truly risk for their history, their future, their home? The gavel fell. The sound of the gavel echoed sharply, signaling finality. In that brief moment, the world seemed to pause. Sam felt a rush of adrenaline, as if the air around them vibrated from the shout of their collective hope. Jake's face was a study of fierce determination, but Sam could see the flicker of doubt deep within his father's eyes. 800,000. The auctioneer's voice sliced through the tension, declaring their bid loud enough for everyone to hear. But even as they celebrated the moment of boldness, the wealthy man stood unmoving, his gaze fixed like a predator calculating his next move. 850,000. He shouted, his voice booming over the crowd. Sam's stomach dropped. He could feel the weight of that number like a rock in his chest. It was as if a door had slammed shut against his dreams. How could they compete with such wealth? How could they go higher? The looks of hope from the crowd, now mingled with anxiety, only amplified the pressure. Dad, we can't, Sam whispered, the words choking him. But Jake didn't look away from the wealthy man. He was steady, focused. I can't back down now. Not after everything we've fought for. His voice was calm, yet Sam could hear the strain beneath the surface. The crowd around them buzzed, the energy fluctuating like a live electrical wire. Some people were leaning in closer, others were exchanging worried glances. Sam's heart thudded against his ribcage as he considered their options. Are you ready for this? What if we bid again? Sam asked, his voice barely above a whisper. What if we lose everything? Jake turned to Sam, determination etched in every line of his face, but there was an unmistakable warmth in his eyes, too. Son, sometimes it's about more than the money. It's about the memories. This house has seen us through so much. We can't let it slip away. Sam felt a swell of emotion within him. The house wasn't just bricks and mortar, it was laughter, warmth, and every moment that had shaped their lives. Okay, he breathed, adrenaline mixing with fear. Let us do it. 900,000. Jake called out, his voice steady and strong, cutting through the murmur of the crowd. With that bid, a wave of applause surged through the room. People were rallying around them now, supporting their fight, and it felt electric. But the wealthy man only smirked, a self-assured glint lighting his eyes. 1 million, he countered, throwing down a challenge with ease as if he'd just called the play in a simple game. Sam's heart sank further. Could they really go that high? 1 million felt like a mountain they couldn't climb. Sweat trickled down the back of his neck as he glanced at Jake, seeking reassurance in his father's expression. Can we really make it happen? Sam asked, the desperation creeping into his voice. What if they lost everything in this battle they fought so hard? Jake's grip tightened around the paddle. If that's what it takes, we will. We have to believe. With the weight of the moment crashing down on them, the crowd was silent now. All eyes were on Jake and Sam, and the realization hit Sam. This was no longer just a fight for their home. It was a declaration, a testament to everything they had endured together. Dad, Sam hesitated, uncertainty creeping in. What if we lose? Jake bent forward slightly, his voice barely above a whisper as he responded. What if we don't? As the auctioneer raised the gavel again, Sam could almost hear the pulse of their fears and hopes mingling in the room. The moment felt suspended, heavy with consequence. Could they really stand up against all that wealth? Would their bond be enough to carry them through? With every heartbeat, the stakes climbed higher, and the question loomed, how far were they willing to go to protect the life they had built? What would victory truly cost them? And then, almost instinctively, Jake shouted, 1,100,000. The gavel came down again. The fabric of fate was being woven in those moments, and Sam felt the tension coil around them like a live wire. Would it finally be enough to tilt the scales? The wealthy man's expression shifted, uncertainty flashing in his eyes for the first time. Would this be the moment that changed everything? The auctioneer's voice cut through the stunned silence, a sharp, exhilarating call that jolted everyone back to the moment. 1,100,000, going once, going twice. Sam glanced at Jake, his heart hammering. This was it. The wealthy man's face was a mask, no hint of emotion crossing his features, but in Sam's gut, he sensed a shift. The crowd leaned in, collectively holding their breath as the auctioneer paused, his gavel poised. Sold. The gavel crashed down, and a wave of cheers erupted from Sam and Jake, enveloping them like a warm embrace. It felt surreal, the thrill of victory mingled with disbelief. They had done it. Somehow, against all odds, they had secured their home. Jake turned to Sam, and for the first time, his father's eyes glimmered with unshed tears. We did it, buddy. We really did it. Sam's heart swelled, pulling him into a moment of pure joy. I can't believe it, he exclaimed, the words bursting from him like confetti. They had fought tooth and nail, and here they were, standing tall in their victory. The crowd around them erupted into applause, the clapping punctuating the air with a vibrant rhythm of hope and triumph. Sam felt elated, surrounded by warmth from familiar faces who had supported them through thick and thin. Friends, neighbors, people who understood just how much this meant. But amid the celebration, the wealthy man remained still, his expression unreadable. It left a nagging feeling in Sam's stomach. Was this really over? What if that man had more tricks up his sleeve? Jake must have felt it too, for he leaned closer, lowering his voice deliberately. Son, we're not out of the woods yet. We need to ensure this deal is solid. There's always room for a surprise. Right, Sam replied, nodding. The victory felt bittersweet now, overshadowed by an unsettling uncertainty. As the crowd began to disperse, and congratulations were exchanged, Sam spotted the wealthy man walking towards them. The man's slow, deliberate pace felt ominous, the finality of the gavel now tainted by anxiety. Congratulations, Jake, he said smoothly, a sardonic smile twisting his lips. His rich voice encapsulated confidence but held an edge of menace. You and your son have done well today. But remember, this isn't the end. There's always a bigger game to play. Sam's heart raced. He felt a prickling sensation crawl down his spine. What do you mean? He blurted out, unable to mask his alarm. The man waved a dismissive hand. Just a friendly reminder. In this world, money isn't everything. Sometimes the things you think you've won can disappear in a heartbeat. With a chuckle, he turned and walked away, leaving behind a chill that wrapped around Sam's chest. Dad, what did he mean? Sam's voice wavered, confusion dousing his earlier elation. Jake's expression hardened. It means we need to be careful. We can't let our guard down. We won this battle, but the war isn't over. The once warm atmosphere felt suffocating now, uncertainty replacing excitement. They had fought so hard to secure their home, but what if this wasn't the end? A wave of determination built within Sam. They had already faced more than most, and they wouldn't falter now. We'll figure it out, he declared, conviction filling his voice. We can't let him intimidate us. As they walked out of the auction house, Sam's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. They had fought for their dreams, but now, his pulse raced for another reason. What secrets lay ahead? What other challenges awaited them? He turned to Jake, seeking the same unwavering strength he had felt in that moment at the auction. We'll protect our home, no matter what. Jake nodded, pride shining in his eyes. But as they stepped into the sunlight, the shadows of doubt lingered. With new determination, they would face whatever lay ahead. Did they have the strength to stand up against whatever the wealthy man had in store? They were about to find out. As they stepped out into the bustling street, cheers still echoing in their ears, Sam's heart raced with exhilaration, but that gnawing unease never fully left him. The sun was bright, casting golden rays over everything, but to Sam, the world felt a shade darker. A looming sense of dread lingered. What if there was something hidden beneath this surface of celebration? Jake clapped a hand on Sam's shoulder, grounding him in the moment. This is our chance to catch our breath, he said, his voice steady, yet Sam could sense the undercurrent of tension. They hadn't just won a bid, they had entered a dangerous game. Dad, do you think he was bluffing? Sam asked, searching his father's face for some reassurance. I doubt it, Jake replied, his brow furrowing. He's not the type to make empty threats. We need to stay alert. They wandered away from the crowd, seeking refuge in a small park nearby. The trees swayed gently, and children laughed in the distance, but that peacefulness felt miles away from their reality. Let us take a moment, Jake said, sitting on a bench. Sam followed, his heart still pounding. As they sat side by side, he watched the people pass, a kaleidoscope of normalcy that seemed so out of reach. What do we do now, Dad? Sam asked, a tremor in his voice. What if he tries to take it from us? Jake took a deep breath, looking out at the horizon as if trying to formulate a plan with the clouds. We need to get all the legal papers checked. We can't assume anything is final until we're sure. I'll talk to our lawyer. We might want to change some things, beef up our defenses. The mention of lawyers sent a ripple of anxiety through Sam. They had fought so hard to get here, the idea of losing it all felt like a punch to the gut. What if he has something against us? Is there something we don't know? Jake's hand tightened on Sam's shoulder. We've faced harder moments, remember? We fought for this home, and we won. We can protect it, but we need to stick together. Sam nodded, drawing strength from his father's steady resolve. Together, he echoed, but doubt still clouded his mind. The wealthy man's smile haunted him, a reminder that some battles were fought in shadows. As they left the park, Sam couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. They had won a significant victory, but the wealthy man had left a clear warning, and it felt like a storm was brewing on the horizon. They drove home in thoughtful silence, weaving through familiar streets that now looked different, more cutting, more daunting. Sam's mind spun with possibilities, weighing risks against their newfound fortune. When they opened the door to their house, the air seemed charged, almost electric. The small space had always felt like a sanctuary, but now it felt vulnerable, as if it could be snatched away at any moment. "Let us start going through the sale documents tonight," Jake said, breaking the silence and bringing Sam back to reality. "We'll do it together." Sam nodded, feeling that familiar spark of determination reignite within him. They could take control, they just had to be smart and stay one step ahead. As they settled at the kitchen table, papers spread before them, Sam's eyes caught a dusty old box in the corner, something they had brought with them from the old house. No one had opened it in ages. Curiosity piqued within him, and he was suddenly aware that they had ignored the past while focusing on the present. "Dad, what's that box?" Sam asked, his voice filled with intrigue. Jake looked where Sam pointed, a flicker of hesitation skimming across his features. "Oh, that's just, can we open it? It might hold something important." Jake hesitated again, but Sam could see the glimmer of interest igniting. "All right, let us see what's inside." The box was labeled with faded letters, a reminder of what they had fought to keep. As they pried it open, both father and son felt the weight of their past staring back at them. What secrets had it stored away? As the lid creaked open, a strange sense of foreboding washed over Sam. What if within these forgotten memories lay not only choices made but also ghosts from their past that could unravel everything they had built? One thing was certain, what they found inside could change everything. As the lid of the box gave way, it groaned like an old door long unvisited, the musty scent of time rising up to greet them. Sam leaned closer, his heart pounding. Inside, they found stacks of yellowed papers, brittle with age, and a few small trinkets that had been lovingly wrapped in cloth. Jake carefully lifted the first item, a tarnished key, intricately designed with an inscription that made Sam's heart skip a beat. "This looks familiar," Jake murmured, turning it over in his hand. Beneath the dust, Sam could see the outline of something engraved. "Is that?" he began, his voice barely a whisper. "Yeah, that's the emblem of our old house." This was the key to the attic, Jake said, his eyes widening with recognition. The attic had been a treasure trove of memories, a hidden world of family stories and dreams. But why would it be in here? Sam asked, his curiosity flaring. "Do you think there's more?" Jake paused, a shadow of hesitation flickering across his face. "Let us keep looking." Sam reached into the box and pulled out the first stack of papers, flipping through them. They were contracts and legal documents, the type of paperwork that rarely felt like a piece of the past but more like chains anchoring them back in time. He combed through the pages, frowning as he stumbled upon something curious, a real estate agreement that mentioned the wealthy man, just a few weeks before they made their own purchase. "What is this?" "Dad, look!" Sam exclaimed, holding up the document. He was involved in this deal too. Jake's expression tightened. "It's possible he had his eyes on this place long before we did," he said, the tension in his voice palpable. "What if he had plans to sabotage us?" The thought made Sam shudder. Did the man orchestrate all of this to keep them from winning? They'd been so caught up in their victory that they hadn't considered how hard others would fight to tear them apart. "Let us see what else is in there," Jake pushed onward, his determination returning. They worked together, pulling papers from the box. As they sorted through the items, they uncovered old photographs, snapshots of happier times around their old home, moments that made Sam smile and ache all at once. Then, Sam unearthed a handwritten letter, its edges frayed and stained. The familiar handwriting belonged to Sam's mother. He hesitated, reading the first few lines, the feel of silence enveloping them. "To my dear boys," Sam began to read aloud, but his voice wavered as the memories rushed in, stirring emotions he hadn't expected. It was a letter filled with love, hope, and dreams they'd shared. Jake nodded, encouraging him. "Keep going, Sam." As Sam read, every word felt like an embrace from the past. It reminded him of the warmth of family, resilience against hardship, and the importance of fighting for what mattered most. He could picture his mother's smile, her encouragement always guiding him toward the light, even amidst storms. When he finished, tears brimmed in his eyes. What if we're missing something? What if there's more in the past that impacts our future? Jake took a deep breath and set the letter aside. We have to keep digging. There might be something here that tells us how to deal with him, that gives us an edge. Sam nodded, his heart racing at the idea of unearthing secrets long buried. There was weight in the air, a feeling that some hidden truth could be their turning point. As they continued their search through the box, the shadows of doubt began to lift, replaced by a sense of purpose. But just as they were about to dive back into the papers, the sound of a sharp knock echoed through the house. It was a sound that sent a shiver down Sam's spine. Jake's gaze darted to the front door. Who could it be at this hour? The urgency in his voice mirrored Sam's own rising anxiety. Had someone been watching them? As they exchanged glances filled with worry, Sam's thoughts raced. Were they about to face their next challenge? He couldn't shake the feeling that whatever waited outside could change everything they worked so hard to keep safe. With uncertainty hanging in the air, the question loomed larger than ever. Could they face whatever was ready to come crashing into their lives? As Jake cautiously opened the door, the warm glow from within collided with the cool twilight outside, revealing a figure standing beneath the porch light. For a brief moment, Sam felt his heart stop, weighed down by apprehension. But then he realized standing there with a worried smile was Mrs. Thompson, their elderly neighbor, her reliable presence like an anchor in the swirling storm. Sorry to interrupt, she said, her voice soft and slightly shaky. I just wanted to check in after the auction. I saw the way things went. I was a little worried. Jake stepped aside, gesturing her in with gratitude. You've always looked out for us, Mrs. Thompson. Please, come in. As she settled into a chair, Sam felt the tension in the room shift, the weight of their worries momentarily becoming lighter. You both fought so hard for that house, Mrs. Thompson said, her voice warm. That's something to be proud of. Thank you, Sam said softly, feeling the warmth of her praise bolstering his spirit. Mrs. Thompson paused, as if weighing something heavy on her heart. But I've also heard some unsettling things about that man. He doesn't play fair. If he's got his sights set on you, you should be prepared. The room grew silent. Sam felt chills crawl over his skin. So, the wealthy man was playing a more sinister game than they had imagined. Does he have a history? Jake asked, his brow furrowing. We need to know what we're up against. Her gaze turned serious, the light that filled the room dimming slightly. Oh, yes. He's notorious in the area for flipping properties, making deals behind people's backs. He's known to pressure families into selling. Once he targets someone, he won't stop until he gets what he wants. A sense of urgency flooded Sam. They couldn't be passive in the face of this threat, they had to act fast. What can we do? His voice cut in, emboldened by determination. She looked at them, her eyes fierce. Fight back. Don't let him intimidate you. Band together with your community. You have support all the people who rallied for you at the auction. They'll stand by you if you ask. The weight of her words settled over them, filling the air with purpose. Sam exchanged a look with his dad, the glimmer of resolve sparking between them like lightning. The battle wasn't over, it had just begun. What we found in that box, Sam started, excitement bubbling up inside him. There might be something that proves we've always belonged here. It could give us an advantage. Jake caught the enthusiasm, nodding vigorously. We'll analyze every document, every photo. We need to get ahead of this man before he makes his next move. With newfound energy, they just needed to find a plan and gather the community. The shadows of doubt began to recede as they locked their gazes onto Mrs. Thompson, who was now leaning forward, inspiration dancing in her voice. Let us set up a meeting. Get your neighbors together. We can organize. When people stand united, it's a force to be reckoned with. Remember, none of us will let you fight this alone. As hope flickered anew, the echoes of laughter and shared dreams filled Sam's thoughts, igniting a fire within him. We won't just protect our home. We'll protect everyone in our community. With that, they formed a plan, exchanging numbers, promising to spread the word without hesitation. Together, they could tackle this storm head-on, not just with hope, but with conviction, armed with the experiences of the past and the resilience of the present. As they sat discussing logistics under the soft light of their kitchen, a warmth enveloped them, threading through the room like an invisible force. They could feel their connection pulsating stronger than before, like roots digging deeper into the earth. The bond that had been stitched from memories and dreams was now stretching toward a bold future. They knew they had to rally the community, bringing together friends, neighbors, everyone who viewed their home as part of a shared legacy. It would take courage and unity, but they were ready to reclaim their sense of belonging against any force that threatened their dreams. This was just the beginning of their fight, and they would not stand down. Sam felt a radiant smile spread across his face as he realized together, they were unstoppable. In that moment of shared determination, Jake looked at Sam and said, "No matter what, we'll always protect each other, and we'll never stop believing in what this home means to us." With unyielding conviction, Sam raised his chin, ready to face whatever came next. After all, this was their life, their legacy, and they would defend it with all their hearts. Now, more than ever, they could see the light at the end of the tunnel, a future woven with love, hope, and the shared strength of a community willing to stand against the odds. And as they prepared for the journey ahead, Sam realized that no matter what lay in store, they would embrace it together, hand in hand, heart in heart. So, what is your next move? You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let us know you're with us. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible transformation. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see how courage can reshape a future. Don't wait not even one more second to stand strong with us. Your support means everything.